Brunch with Brian time, and I want to talk about the numbers. I am a numbers guy, and I like to look at the numbers when the numbers are favorable. So we love, this is Brian Wolf with Brunch with Brian, your home investing live stream. So guys, guess what? We're buying a property today, and it fits all the criteria for pricing. So I have talked about this before, and if you can find an area that follows the 1% rule, this is a very valuable area. Okay, so if you have boots on the ground, or if you live in an area where you can find properties in the 1% that follow the 1% rule. So what's the 1% rule? It's the rent or the lease purchase. I mean, there's a rental amount. Whether you're selling on lease purchase, you're still leasing it, so they're still getting rent every month. Or if it's a straight rental, obviously you're getting rent every month. So on the rental amount should be 1% or more of the value of the property. So if you're buying a house for $130,000, how much do you need to get monthly rent? $1,300. So if you can find an area where this applies, I'm telling you that the numbers will make you smile. You'll be very happy. It'll be like lightning striking for you when you can find these properties. Okay, let me tell you about this one we're working on right now, or we're buying it right now. So this one, we are buying it for $125, and now you think, okay, does the math work? Can you pay a 10%? So we're talking to this guy, and he says, I can do seller financing, and I've done it before. He's another investor, and he said, but I don't know if it's going to work for you guys because I charge 10%. And I don't think, that's going to work. So let's look at the numbers. So if you buy a house, let's say you buy a house for $120,000. I'm using that number because it's easy to work with. Okay, so $120,000 property. And now you're hoping to get $1,200 a month rent, right? That would follow the 1% rule or more. So $120,000 property. What if you pay 10% interest per year? So 10% interest of 120,000 is 12,000. Okay. So this 12,000, that means it's $1,000 a month. So if you've got $120,000 property and you're paying 10% interest, now that seems astronomical. That seems really too high, and like I would never pay that much. And I don't know what this is. Okay, so, but if you look at the numbers, it still works, because if you're paying on a $120,000 property, you're paying 10% interest, so that comes to $12,000 a year, $1,000 a month. Now, what can you get for rent? That's the key. And how much are the taxes and insurance? So let's see if this works. So if I can I can even pay 10% on this house that I'm buying for $120,000. Let's say the taxes on this particular house we're buying, it's $150 a month. So let's say that's $1,800 a year. That's about, average. Let's say it's $200 a month. Let's say it's $250 a month. Let's say you have pretty expensive property taxes, and let's say your insurance is $50 a month. So that's $300 a month. So you got a $1,000 a month payment. You got $300 a month in taxes and insurance. We're assuming that there is no HOA in the area, or if there is an HOA, homeowners association, you're putting that cost on your buyer, your lease purchase tenant buyer. So if your outgo is $1,300 a month, if you can get, honestly guys, if you get $14.95, you got a $200 a month positive cash flow, you can survive on that. And that's too low for me. I want it to be higher, and so normally I'm going to try to push that rent to $1,600, $1,700 a month. And a lot of times you can get more with lease purchase tenant buyers because they're also buying the property. They get the option to buy it. So I want you guys looking at the numbers on these properties. Now, does this work? This same seller, he's an investor that we're working with, and he's got another property that he talked to me about that actually, now the rentals estimate on this first one is $1,700. So I'm pretty confident and we know the area and everything, and I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to get $1,700. So our outgo on that property, the guy, we're going to pay him the 10%. And if you're paying 10% on a property that's $120,000, again, that's $1,000 a month of just pure interest that you're paying. But sometimes what you forget, even though you're making a $200 profit on that per month and it doesn't seem like a lot, you're also depreciating that property, so you're getting a tax savings every year that might total as much as $2,000 or $3,000 there. That might actually equal another $100 or $200 a month. Now, not on this size property. It's going to be smaller on this size property, but it's going to be something. So there's some money coming from depreciation, and there's other, there's 12 paydays that I can't go through all of them. So a lot of these other things, and your principal reduction, your mortgage is getting paid down every month. And so you're actually making that $100 or $200 or $300, however much the mortgage is getting paid down. So sometimes you think, oh, I don't want to do that deal. It's an astronomical interest rate. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for long term. You don't necessarily have to get a 6% interest rate to make a deal work long term. You can pay 10% and still have the deal work. If that's the only financing you get, now that's expensive money. And I want you to try to find sources where you can get money for 8%. 8% would be nice. And there's a lot of people out there who, if they could get 8% long-term on their money, they'd be very happy. And there's a lot of companies that actually do loans at less than 8% if you qualify. And a lot of this, there's not that much qualification because it really is based more on the asset. That's when we talk about asset-based lending. Most of those hard money, now these aren't hard money lenders. There's hard money lenders, and then there's lenders that do something called rental loans. Okay, sometimes it's hard to, it's R-E-N-T-A-L, rental loans. Okay, so these loans that you do, rental loans, are longer term, 30-year terms, and right now you can get some of them and your credit, a lot of times these lenders will say, oh, your credit doesn't matter, or the fact that you've never done a deal doesn't matter. Well, it sort of does matter. It may not matter whether they say yes or no, but it affects the terms. So you might pay a higher interest rate, or they might not go as high loan to value, something like that. So yes, it's great if you have great credit, and it's great if you have done a bunch of deals before, but there's ways to find money even if that's not the case, especially on these properties that don't need repairs. Remember, if you can just show the lender, this is a long-term rental deal and the property's in perfect condition, that's a different deal than hard money that will be attached to some beat up distressed property. Remember, it's a different kind of money that goes with nice properties. And if you're just looking for a long-term loan on a nice property that's already nice and will survive an appraisal, then you get the lower rates. Okay, so I want you guys to be tapped into this market and realize what's possible. And I know some of you guys are resistant to use your credit. Your credit is a tool. Okay, and if you use it intelligently, you can make a lot more money. Even now, regular banks will tell you you can take out a certain number of loans and then they just won't even look at you, even with a good profit and loss statement. But there's a lot of lenders who maybe charge a little bit more interest rate, not that much more, that will work with you even if you have a lot of properties. So let's start thinking about big portfolios, big buy and hold portfolios, big fix and hold. I want you guys even thinking fix and hold. Don't even fix and sell out, just fix it and hold it. And build up a big portfolio. If you buy 5 properties a year that you hang on to, it's not going to take you that long, a few years, to have enough properties where you have passive income to cover all your debts. So that's the goal. That's financial freedom. When you got the passive income where you don't even have to get out of bed and your bills are covered through passive income, through rental properties and lease purchase properties. So I love talking about that, you guys know. I love it when the numbers work. Okay, let's do that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I love it when the numbers work. I love it when the numbers work. I love it when the numbers work. Guys, the numbers can work on these houses that are between 100 and 150. Find an area like that where the 1% rule works, and then you can pay some pretty high interest rates, and the business will still work for you. Okay? Store deep breathing. Nice deep breath in. Oh, this is the way to start the day. Nice deep breath in. And some of you guys haven't even smiled big yet today. Think of how many times you smile in the day. I hope you smile a lot. Smile at your spouse. Deep breath in, big smile. Okay, it's going to be a great day. Man, I'm feeling good today. Actually, we're buying 2 houses today, so I'll tell you more about it and next time. So I'll see you tomorrow. Until I see you tomorrow on Brunch with Brian, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and of course, taking action. Okay, we will see.